There's this invisible force that's shaping your financial world, probably right at this very moment. It's called monetary policy, and it's kind of the hidden mechanism that influences everything from your car loan to the price of your groceries. So let's pull back the curtain and see who's really steering our economy.
Have you ever just looked at your mortgage rate or maybe a car loan and wondered, why did that just change? Who decides that? Well, it is definitely not random. There's a very powerful group making those calls, and today we're going to figure out exactly who's behind the wheel.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's use a simple analogy. Just imagine the entire economy is a car. And the goal? Well, it's a smooth, steady ride, not going too fast and overheating, but not stalling out either. The driver of this car is the nation's central bank. Think the Federal Reserve in the US or the European Central Bank.
So how does this driver actually control the car? Well, they do it through something called monetary policy. Basically, it's the toolkit the central bank has to manage the amount of money flowing around and the cost of borrowing. This isn't just some textbook theory. It's the actual steering wheel, the gas, and the brake pedal of the economy.
Think of this as the driver's dashboard. These are the gauges they're constantly watching. And the main one, the big one that takes up almost half their focus, is price stability. That just means keeping inflation low and predictable so the money in your pocket holds its value. After that, they're focused on making sure as many people as possible have jobs and that the economy is growing at a nice, steady pace.
So what's actually in this toolkit?
Well, just like any car, it really comes down to two main controls: a gas pedal to speed things up and a brake to slow things down.
On one side, you've got the gas pedal. That's what we call expansionary policy. When the economy is sluggish or in a recession, the central bank hits the gas by lowering interest rates. This makes borrowing cheaper and encourages all of us to spend money. And on the other side, that's the brake pedal, contractionary policy. If the economy is overheating and inflation is getting too high, they tap the brakes by raising interest rates to cool things off.
So how do they actually press these pedals? Well, their main lever is the policy interest rate. This is the big one. It's the benchmark rate that pretty much influences every other interest rate out there. When you hear that this rate is changed, you can bet your mortgage, your credit card, and business loan rates are all going to follow suit.
The central bank also has a way to make finer adjustments. It's called open market operations. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. By buying government bonds, they pump money into the banking system, which pushes interest rates down. And by selling them, they pull money out, which nudges rates up. Think of it like making those small, subtle adjustments on the steering wheel to keep the car perfectly in its lane.
Okay, so the driver turns the wheel or taps the brake, but how does that action actually make the car turn or slow down? This whole process is known as the transmission mechanism. It's the chain reaction that carries a single policy decision all the way through the entire economy.
Let's walk through the most direct route. First, the central bank cuts its main interest rate. Almost immediately, commercial banks start lowering their rates for things like mortgages and car loans. Now, because it's cheaper to borrow, you're more likely to buy that new car, and a business is more likely to build that new factory. All that new spending and investment gets the whole economy humming. And the ripples don't stop there. Lower rates can boost the value of stocks and real estate, making people feel wealthier and more willing to spend. It can also change the value of a country's currency, which affects imports and exports. And maybe most importantly, it shapes what we all expect to happen next, and that expectation itself is an incredibly powerful economic force. But as you can probably guess, steering an entire economy is never a perfectly smooth drive. The central bank faces all kinds of challenges: unexpected potholes in the road, sudden traffic jams, and even other drivers who have their own plans.
One of the biggest complexities is that the central bank isn't the only one at the controls. You also have the government, which handles fiscal policy. That's all about taxing and spending. Now, monetary policy can usually act faster and is more insulated from politics, but it has to work in concert with what the government is doing, and sometimes they can be pushing in opposite directions. And there are other roadblocks for sure. There's a serious time lag. It can take months, even over a year, for a rate change to really work its way through the economy. Sometimes, especially during a huge crisis, the controls just don't seem to work as well. And then you have global events, things completely outside the driver's control that can suddenly send the car veering off course. So, after all this high-level talk, why should you actually care about any of it? Well, because that driver, the central bank, has a direct, real, and tangible impact on your personal finances every single day.
I mean, think about it. When the central bank raises rates, your mortgage payment might go up. But hey, you might earn a little more in your savings. When they lower rates, it gets cheaper to borrow money.
but your savings account might earn next to nothing. Their decisions directly influence the health of the job market, and maybe most importantly, they determine the purchasing power of every single dollar you earn by keeping inflation under control.
At the end of the day, monetary policy isn't just some abstract concept for economists to debate. It's one of the most powerful tools we have to create a stable and prosperous economy for everyone, keeping that economic engine running as smoothly as possible.
But that brings us to a huge, forward-looking question. The economic road itself is changing. With the rise of digital currencies and all these new financial technologies, the very nature of money is shifting right under our feet. So you have to wonder, will the old gas and brake pedals be enough for the journey ahead? Well, that's the big challenge for the next generation of economic drivers.